Hello everybody, Happy New Year. So today I'm playing around with making palm thimbles. Now this is a traditional Japanese style palm thimble. It goes on like this. It fits and rests in your palm. Now I've added one of my little polka dot sticky thimbles. I like to add those because it really grips the needle nicely. But I'm still trying to master this style of thimble. But I wanted to try a bigger one because sometimes I'm coming over, accidentally getting over here or here, which is not good. You don't want to poke yourself. So I came up with this and I was really happy with it. These are some buttons and I love the style of this one. And it was so simple. I just used elastic cording that I use on my journals. And there's 2 holes. There's a smaller one here. 2 holes, and you just put the elastic through, fit it to size. I made mine a little tight because I know it's going to stretch over time. And then so your needle doesn't go through the holes where you stitched in the elastic, you want to put one of these dots, or if you don't have the dots, you could get creative. You could put a little round piece of leather, a little piece of cork fabric. You could maybe possibly even glue on a little piece of metal, maybe even a dime piece might fit in there. I don't know, you could just play around with what you wanted to do with covering up the holes. And it feels really good in my hand. And I've been playing around with it, stitching. And I'm also using a longer needle. I find that the way I hold a needle, to use this style, I need to have a little bit longer needle. Now, these were the Big Eye tulip needles, the Sashiko or Sashiko. I know I've heard people say Sashiko, but I think the correct way to say it is Sashiko. But these are the thin, but they're not as long. And so this is what I recently got, and I love them. I love John James needles. I got the long darners, L4316, and you can get these from Wawak, W-A-W-A-K, a really great sewing supply store. No affiliation, I just love them. And so that's what I'm using. So I thought I might look at some other possibilities. Okay, I'm going to take this off. Now this button is the same, but smaller, so you got that option. You can, play around with your buttons. Here's a brass one that looks more like the traditional. That's pretty. Do that. And then now these all have 2 holes. Now this one has 4 holes, so you're definitely going to want to make sure you get a good cover on that. But the nice thing about this one is, I haven't tried it yet, is it's got a ridge. So if your needle slides, that ridge is going to stop it. Whereas there's no ridge on this or these. So this might be a really good option, so I might play around with that. Then here's another style of button I had in my stash, and it's got, let's see if one of these little dots would fit down in there perfectly. Take one off. Now also, when I'm doing the dots, they have a sticky back on them, but it's not strong enough to hold over time, so and that fits right down in there. Get it. Oops, got it in there crooked. Try again. But I'll put a glue That'll really hold it if I decide to do it. And you do that after you put the elastic in. So that might be an option. That's very, very Japanese looking with the black and the white and the red dot, isn't it? That's kind of fun. All right, so that's an option. And then when I glue them in, I've just been using my Fabri-Tac and it's working great. When I glue the little dots into the metal. So it took me all of about 1 minute, not even to make this, just putting in the elastic in the 2 holes and then gluing on the dot. The simplest solution I have ever come up with. And I'm always playing around with thimbles and trying to make, here's a leather one that I've made from an old thimble that wore out. And then I've also been using these that you can pick up where they go on your finger like this and you put the needle. So there's that option. There's all kinds of options. But the other thing is I had this leather thimble and I wore it out. So I cut the part that was worn out. Now this could become one of the palm, but see, you're going to have to reinforce that. But what I'm actually using this one for is I put it on this hand because when I'm stitching and I'm coming along, I have on occasion poked my thumb and the needle has gone in just enough to, to draw blood, really. So I've been wearing this to protect, and I haven't done that since. So this is kind of a protective, I'm using that protectively for this thumb because you're stitching like this and you can poke yourself. So anyway, if you want to have at it, a button. This one's kind of scooped, so these are scooped, so they're more like the traditional thimble, but I like the bigger size. Let's put this one back on again. Now over time, this is going to stretch, so I made it pretty tight. It's not going to be as tight after I use it a lot. But that's a really nice solution. Just thought I'd share that with you guys today if you want to make a thimble and do some stitching. Here's some of the tests that I did. This is got some batting on the back, and then this is wool. It's working out pretty good. So, have fun. Catch you next time.